Welcome back, guys, for another video by your one and only Literary Pharaoh. On the road to work, on the road to work, worker like a slave, slave worker every day. On the road to work, on the road to work, like a slave every day. On the road to work. Yeah, guys. Again, you guys know how I feel about work. It's stupid. It's dumb. But it's something that we've all made ourselves believe that we have to do, not knowing that in the grand scheme of things, collectively, we as a population, we as people, we outnumber those who control us. But unfortunately and inevitably, we are the ones that are the strongest guardians of our own oppression, meaning that we guard the system and we keep the system erect that oppresses us. The system isn't that strong, believe it or not. It really isn't. The system that's used to manipulate the minds of the people isn't really that strong, but what makes it strong is the people who are under its hypnosis, underneath that hypnotic state. We fervently push forward and we try our best to make sense out of the system, believing in the system. And when you have the majority of people that are operating that way, it's going to make it very difficult for people who are going against the system like me to prevail. Paying taxes is illegal. Don't take my word for it. Do your research. But yet we all do it. But yet the government wants to, or the laws or the statutes that are put in place, whether it's state laws or laws of the city, yet they want to lock people up for stealing. Well, I don't think there's no such thing as theft. Stealing should be taken off the books, because the same government that institutes the laws, that institutes the statutes of stealing being a crime, or stealing from us. The government steals directly from us. Have you ever looked at your paycheck recently and seen how much the IRS takes out for taxes? And then when you do get your income tax, you're not even getting a tenth back of what they've taken from you all year. But yet, like groveling idiots, again, like desperate people, beggars with slave mindsets, we get all excited when it's income tax season. Oh, we're gonna get some money back. You're not getting a tenth back of what they've taken from you. We operate like slaves. Only a slave mind would be appreciative of crumbs that are given back to them, when the slaves actually were the ones that cooked the entire cookie batch. But then you're giving back crumbs of what you cooked. If you worked for the money, if we live in an economic system that's based upon a free market economy, then we should get every penny that we work for. But we don't. As you can see, if you look at your paycheck stub, you can see how much money they take out. And the more money you make, the more money they take. That's theft. So how can you then arrest people for stealing when the government itself is stealing? Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say here? How can you deem it illegal to steal when you've made it legal to steal? That's a paradox. Like the agency which puts on the impression of putting forth laws and statutes to govern people and civilize people in an order that makes sure that everybody's doing the right thing, they've incorporated a legal means of stealing from people. It's a scheme. They've done it cleverly, but yet they want to arrest people for stealing. No one, if someone goes into a bank and steals money, they shouldn't be arrested. They're only stealing the money that was stolen from them. the IRS, the IRS is not really part of the government, but they are in cahoots, bankers and governments and the IRS. It's a weird relationship that they have. A lot of people, they like to link the IRS to the government, but it really isn't. The IRS is a private institution. It's really not part of the government. It's an illegal enterprise, but we don't see it that way. People talk about the IRS as if it's something that's part of human existence. In other words, just like breathing in and out, just like breathing, people look at the IRS as if that's just something that's normal, but it's not. But that's when you know you live in a psychotic world, in a world that's been inverted and turned completely upside down. When people look at the things that are oppressive and illegal in nature, and when I say illegal in nature, I mean going against universal law. Universal law states that you can't, galactic law, you can't steal, you can't take something from somebody that's not yours, right? So if you've instituted a system, all right, free market economy, an economic system that's based upon working and getting paid wages or getting paid hourly wage for your work, why then are you then taking money that I worked for, and then the claim is that, oh, we take these taxes to build roads? That's not, let me not curse. That's BS. They're not building roads. They're not doing anything with the money, but just keeping it. It's not even about the money, really. They just want to make sure that people are better worker slaves. Because if you make too much money, you may start investing in your own company, in your own businesses. And then everybody gets to a point where everyone's kind of playing on an equal playing field, but they don't want that. So they have to strip people of their money and make sure that you have just enough to survive, but not enough to live comfortably. That's the motive. So the system steals, corrupt as it is, it steals from you, but yet arrests people for stealing. They take resources out of certain areas of the world, or areas in America that are poverty stricken. They have resources in those areas that are scarce, so people are fighting for resources. So as people are fighting for resources, they end up stealing those resources, whether it's going to a 7-Eleven and stealing something out of the 7-Eleven, or whether it's you robbing somebody of their car, or pistol whipping somebody to take their money. No matter what it is, people are just fighting for resources. So if they had the resources, they wouldn't do that. The criminal enterprise is enveloped by those who claim that they're trying to eliminate crime. So you're trying to eliminate crime, but yet you're perpetuating crime by stealing from people. Hard workers who've earned their money the legal way by going to work, you still take their money. When people want to buy a home, you tax the shit out of them. You add extra taxes, making their mortgage even higher. You tax me for living in a house that you say is mine. How is it really mine if I'm paying taxes? And how is it really mine that if I don't make payments, the bank can come and take my house? Is it really my house, or does the bank own it? It's not. You see what I'm trying to get to here, guys? Can you truly understand what I'm trying to get to? Like, you don't own anything. Everything is wrapped around a manipulative term and verbiage, and if you don't get it by now, then I can't help you. You don't own anything. And after you've worked all your life to pay off your mortgage, you're still paying taxes. It never ends, folks. You work till you die. You work till you die. It's just unfortunate. And this weekend, one of my coworkers, she was calling and texting me, over the work that we have to do, because we have several cases on our caseloads. And my job, we're like consultants. We help, we strategize with different campuses, we strategize with different principals and administrators, and we're like the behavior specialists that are helping teachers in the classroom, insert systems that are going to help them manage their classrooms better. We help with student support. If a student has a particular issue and certain systems in the classroom aren't working, then we jump right in to kind of help the teacher and the student with plans that are going to be beneficial to both, not just for the student but for the teacher as well, because we understand that if the teacher is happier, the teacher is more willing to implement the strategies that we give the teacher, and if the student is happy, the student is more likely to comply to the teacher's directives. So we have a huge caseload, right? And I say huge caseload, I mean a bunch. But the entire system is broken. The entire educational system is broken. The entire world is broken. It's broken systems. But the broken systems are not by accident. The broken systems are deliberate. It's made to induce stress, and it's made to put us in a state of chaos where we're hinging our emotions or hinging our reality upon which, presidential candidate is going to be voted into office. We really believe, because we're so desperate based upon our ignorance, because ignorance breeds desperation, because if you don't know what's going on, you're going to be fed by the mainstream system, and the mainstream system is calculated and deliberately done, and the mainstream system is a calculated approach, and it's deliberately done in order to induce an amount of emotions from you that are going to be low vibrational, meaning that you're going to be in fear, you're going to be desperate, and you're going to be in a state where you cannot really think clearly. So you're always going to just go back to what the system provides you, because that's all you know. But I'm here to tell you guys that it's much more than that. And we tend to think that these systems are here for us or here for our benefit, and it's really not. The systems are broken deliberately and intentionally, because if you look at my job, for instance, so my coworker is calling. Let me get back to that story. And I'm the kind of person that I do, like, when I plan something, I plan it, and I usually, more often than not, complete my task. When I'm in a work environment or a part of a system that's broken, I've already mentally checked out. You say, Literary Pharaoh, what do you mean you mentally check out? Why would you mentally check out? Well, I mentally check out because that's the only way that I can keep my sanity. Because if I try to insert sanity in a deliberately broken system, that's only going to make me go insane. That's why people are stressed out, folks. Stress is a silent killer. As a matter of fact, you don't have to believe me, but extraterrestrials do exist. Call them aliens, call them whatever. And some of these high vibrational beings, they feed off of our low emotional states, our emotional states of stress, our emotional states of desperation, and the whole chaos. They feed off of that. That's an energy. That's a frequency. It's a vibration that's given off by the human masses, especially when wars are fought. These extraterrestrials, they feed off of the fear and the killing that goes on. It's part of their food. We eat food in terms of physical food. They ingest energy, waves, and the lower we are when we're functioning, the more they eat. So the system, as I've always said and I've always stated, is not a system that's humanly contrived. From the monetary system, the free market economy that we're under, the political system, from the foods that we so-called think are foods that we eat, that are sprayed with all sort of chemicals and made with all sorts of carcinogens, those things are not deliberately done by humans. And it's more than just money. It's a way to depopulate, control, kill, make people sick. We are lab rats. I've always said this, but you guys won't believe me. You guys think that I'm talking out of my ass, but I'm not. We are lab rats. Lab rats meaning that we are in a lab, experience of being ran on us. We don't know it is, because we just think we're living life. And we have these social constructs that have been instituted, that have been implemented in society, like churches and schools, grocery stores. And we think that these places are just places that are good. No, these are places just to make sure that you're consistently living, so they continue to operate on you, unbeknownst to you. You don't know that it's happening, but it is happening. So the systems are broken. So my coworker, she's calling, she's texting, she's talking about, our schedules for the week. I'm thinking, okay, it's the weekend, lady. Like, with all due respect, I understand we have a lot to do, but I am not going to use my weekend for that. Now, there are certain times where I will use my weekend for certain things that interest me. So, for instance, if I have a presentation to work on, right? And that's a big deal. Like if I have big projects, I don't mind using the weekend to work on those big projects, because those big projects are a passion of mine. I selectively chose to do those things. Those things weren't put upon me. Those things weren't put upon me to do it as if I'm being told what to do. I have a little bit of say-so in projects that I'm working on. So if I'm working on a particular project, I have a passion and I'm tied to it, because I'm deeply involved in it, and I believe in the work that I'm going to do. So I don't mind putting the extra work in on the weekend to hash out a project and to clear it up. But that's rare. But I've never done that because I have my wife and 3 kids. Like, I have a family. Not only that, I just think that there's a time for work and there's a time to relax. And it's not as if it's like a 50-50 proposition here. It's not like we go to work 50% of the time and we're free 50% of the time. The majority of the time, 80-90% of the time, we are at work. You say, what do you mean, Literary Pharaoh? I literally mean that. Think about it. The average person's work week is 5 days a week, and you get 2 days off. All right, but we know for the majority of people, that's not the way it works. So a lot of people have 2 jobs, or they're working 6 days out of the week. Some people are working 7 days out of the week. So when do you have time for yourself? So if I have time for myself and you're calling me about work, I'm not going to pick up. And if I do pick up, I'm going to be very indifferent to whatever the hell you're talking about. She was telling me to update the caseload and do this and do this. I said, I'll do it on Monday when I get to work. I'll do it on Monday. Like, you guys have to understand that you have to make a choice on how you're going to live your life. If you're going to live your life trying to fix a broken system, thinking that you're the Superman to your job and you're going to come in and save the day and increase sales or do whatever they want you to do, impress your boss or impress your supervisor, that's all vanities. Like, that doesn't do anything for you. As a matter of fact, that stresses you out because you're going against a system that's broken. But it's deliberately broken. It's not going to be fixed by your hard work. The system was never made for us to work hard and succeed. The saying that if you work hard, you'll make it, that's not necessarily true. It's people, it's a combination of things. It's luck, it's being in the right place at the right time. Of course, working hard, you cannot abstain from that. You can't. That's a key variable that you cannot exclude from the equation. When you're trying to pursue success, hard work is the foundation of it. But hard work alone is not going to get you there, because Americans as a whole are hard workers, because we work a lot. We spend most of our time at work. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone that's working is a hard worker, but I believe that a majority of people do work hard. That doesn't mean you're going to be successful. It's timing. It's who you meet and who you know. There are many factors that factor into people being successful. However, I don't never want to take my work home to the point where I put this heavy burden upon myself, as if my performance is going to be the thing to put a dent in a broken system. You're not even going to put a dent in the system. The system is broken on purpose to make you feel useless. That's why your jobs, you feel useless. That's why most of y'all's jobs, and I'm speaking for everybody here, it doesn't matter what kind of job you have. That's why most of your jobs, you're overwhelmed. They give you more to do than you can actually accomplish. And you never feel like you've done anything. That's deliberate. But I don't tie my being or my self-worth. I don't tie that to my job. It's not aligned. It's not connected at all. I don't link the two together at all. I never do that. My job is my job, and what I do when I'm my off time is what I do on my off time. I completely can separate the two from one another. There's a clear distinction between my work and my life. My work is not my life, and my life is not my work. They're two different things. Work is just something I have to do because bills I have to pay. I have a family, so I have a responsibility. So it's a duty. It's a duty. It's no different than me. It's no different than working out, right? It's a duty. I have to do it because I'm taking care of my temple. This, I have to do it because I'm putting food on my kids' plates, and I'm making sure that we have shelter, we have bills paid, and we have food on the table. Like the necessities of life for sustenance. So that's why I'm doing this. But in order for me to tie my being to my job and to my performance and say, oh, because I accomplished this at work, so this means I'm a great person, man, F that. I don't give a damn if I get any recognition at work. As long as my paychecks every 2 weeks are the same, that's all I give a damn about. Because the system is broken. Same thing for teachers. Teachers who teach, don't get stressed out with all these things they want you to do. Do what you can. Do your best. But never feel useless. And even if, don't ever compare yourself either. You may see another teacher down the hall that seems like she has her shit together, but that doesn't mean she has her stuff together. You know? Don't ever compare. Do your best, man, and get the hell out of there and go home. And when you leave any work that you work at, when you leave your job, when you leave your workplace, go do something for yourself. You know? It's very sad, you know, because people, especially people who don't have anything else to do at home, their job is their whole life, and that's never been me. Even before I had wife and kids, my job has never been my whole life. You know, it's part of it. It's part of my life. For me to say that it's not would be, you know, would be dishonest on my part. But it's a part of my life, but a very small percentage of it, in terms of the way I look at it. Now, it takes up a lot of my time. You know, driving in the car, you know, traffic to work, traffic back from work. You know. So that's the way it is, folks. But there are more of us than them. We just refuse to wake up because everyone's waiting for the Savior to come save the day. We are our own saviors. And if people actually knew the truth that there's no Savior, there's nobody coming, there's no Jesus coming to save the day, I believe there'll be a sense of urgency, a heightened sense of urgency on the part of the people to correct their environment. But too many people are docile. They sit back and they have this misnomer and this notion in their head that these things are supposed to happen, bad things are supposed to happen, which will usher in the second or third coming of their Savior. It's very, very it's very sad that people have gotten to that point where they accept the evil, they accept the theft, they accept the treachery, they accept the child trafficking, they accept the manipulation of systems used to oppress man, but given to man as an elixir or some sort of remedy to your ill, when in actuality they're killing you. We've accepted that because that's the way it's supposed to be until the Savior comes back. But little do you know, there's no Savior. There's no Savior. People have been talking about this Savior coming back for years. There's no Savior, folks. The only Savior is you. You save yourself. And salvation comes with enlightenment. You can't be ignorant, sitting in church pews, living your life off of a book and call yourself spiritual. You're the last person that's spiritual. There's no spirituality in that nonsense. Structured religion is nothing but a man-made construct. And many of you guys have bought into that. Many of you guys have been manipulated by the system. You've been getting effed by the system for so long that you're just numb. You just getting ran through. Simpletons. Simple-minded. Myopic-minded. Refusing to look outside the box. Staying in that box and being controlled by the mechanisms that are put inside the box. That's people. I mean, when you start to figure out truth, there's a heightened sense of righteous anger that's birth in you, and you start to get angry, and it propels you to take action. But those that take action are deemed crazy and isolated and ostracized, and those who go with the flow are praised and promoted and advocated for. Like people who promote the medical nonsense that's going on today, they're promoted. But if you speak out against the medical system, you're ostracized. People are paid to defend these things. You'll have people coming out, oh, I defend the medical industry because when I was sick, they cured me. And people die in hospitals, folks. Hospitals is not a place of curing. There's lack of color in there. It's gray. It's a death cult. When you go to a hospital, you're sent there to die. You're not sent there to get remedied unless it's a dire emergency and you need life-saving surgery. I get that, but if you have an illness and you think that going to a hospital is gonna remedy it, you're going there to die. You're going there to die. You're going there to die. So I've been on this podcast for 25 minutes, going on 26 minutes. I've been on the road that long. I've yet to arrive at my destination. Just to let you know how much time work takes from our individual lives. Because I haven't even got to work to start to work. I'm riding to work, which is also work. Because navigating through traffic in Houston is a job in and of itself. So add that to the cart. All the things that we have to do. Yeah, guys, don't stress yourself. Don't take your job home. Don't think about it. Just do it. Just think of it as a way to get money. Don't take it personal. You're not there to change lives. Just do your best. And if you happen to make an impact at your job and impact people in a good way, then that's a gift. You've done it. But don't hinge your existence and your being on your performance at work. That's not a smart thing to do. Broken systems create broken people, and broken people become beggars. And when they become beggars, they accept anything that's given to them from the mainstream. Even though what's given to them in the mainstream is evil, they'll accept it as good because it's coming from the mainstream. Because after all, why would the mainstream media lie to me, right? That's the saying. Why would they lie? So yeah. So that's my spiel, guys. That's my take. I want you guys to take care of yourselves. Continue to fight against the system the best way you can. The best way to fight the system is not to go into the system and try to topple down systems. The best way to fight this current system is to literally unplug from it and don't give it any energy. That's how you improve. It's subtle. The improvements are done gradually. But nevertheless, the improvements will come. They'll come. Alright, guys. Take care. Leave a comment on what you guys think. And remember, your health is your wealth.